Welcome to Half Past Broke, where today it's Ribstime. I'm Differus.
I'm Ribstime?
Or I Heart Ribs, I don't know. You guys do different things.
Listen, it's Ribstime. It was I Heart Ribs for ever since YouTube was a thing.
Oh, jeez. Well, as you can see, Eric is now a different person again. He cast True Polymorph on himself and became a different person. So this is this is Ribstime, and he's in place with Eric. Eric worked like 14 days in a row, so we kind of had to improvise a little bit. So we kind of.
I'm glad that I'm just sloppy seconds.
No, it was so funny because Eric was gonna be like, Eric said last night before you popped in, he's like, oh, I'll do it, but man, I'm not gonna have the energy for it. Then you popped in, I'm like, oh, we could just throw Ribstime in there. Let's just throw him to the wolves. That's him
awesome.
No background, had no idea we even had a podcast, and just threw him right into the mix.
I won't lie. I listened to the newest one about the fishing tournament.
I
on
love
the way
it.
to work. It was great. I was like, man, if I knew how to actually fish, I would absolutely do it.
Oh, do you not fish?
So I fish with everything but a pole. I'll go spear fishing and noodling and stuff like that.
Oh, we talked about that a couple months ago on here in noodling. I went noodling once, caught one catfish, dropped it, and then I found out that snapping turtle like to hang out in old catfish holes, and I was just like, oh fuck no, I like my fingers.
I wore chainmail gloves.
Oh my god, really?
Oh yeah, I wasn't losing a finger. Screw
That's
that.
fucking awesome. Spearfishing though, spearfishing is really cool. That would be that would be really fun. Do you live like oceanside then? So you are able to?
Nope.
Where do you go spearfish? Do you spearfish bass?
So yes, they call me the underwater bass fisher, that I normally pull on their lines and steal their bait.
Someone's trying to reel in a bass, you come up and stab the bass and rip it off the hook.
No, it's every now and again I'll go to the beach and I like the whole, catch and kill what you're gonna eat.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do.
Yeah, I'm big on catch and release, just because I like to fish for the sport of it. So that's why I like lure fishing, because lure fishing, I feel like the fish are a lot less likely to swallow the hook and it won't tear them apart. So all they gotta do is just get a new piercing, and I got 3 of them. So
Right. Meanwhile, I roll down into the water with a gun.
Oh, you use a spear gun?
Yeah.
Oh, I was picturing you with a wrist strap around an actual spear, and a scuba diving.
No, I go down there with a spear gun.
Oh, okay. I was actually talking a while back. I would love to go bow fishing. I'd love to buy the equipment for it, but I'm way too much of a catch and release guy. So I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. But that's really cool. I would love to try spearfishing sometime. Anyway,
I mean, it's fun. There's some scary moments in it, but
yeah, I know I'm not a big fan of the ocean or the water in general, so I don't really go in it. I hate it. I
love the ocean.
I got stung by a jellyfish once, and I was like, "Fuck that! That's it. That's all I needed."
All right, jellyfish are attracted to me. I think it's because I'm a chunkier guy. They're like, "Who's this fat boy?" And then they'll come up and sting me. I'm like, "What's up, babe?"
He's juicy.
They're like, "He's made of jelly like us."
Brother. So, what are you drinking tonight?
So I got some Jack and Coke.
Oh shit.
It's been a day.
Yeah.
It's been a day.
Yeah, you were messaging me for 2 hours before you even got on. You were like, I'm going late, I'm running late, oh, blah, blah.
I was
like,
in
oh,
a
you're
crawl
cool,
space.
man. You're just texting me in a crawl space.
Yeah, I was in a crawl space fixing what an installer messed up for 2 hours. I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, I gotta love installers. They get paid by the job, not the hour.
Yeah. So they kind of rushed that one and messed up royally, and I've been going back to that house for a month trying to figure out what all they did. We finally fixed it.
I kind of feel bad. I've done the same thing for wiring, the holes they put in the support beams for wiring.
Oh, yeah.
I've totally eyed them all the way through because I was like, this is the last day. I only have a couple hours where I'm losing money, so I'm like, and it just, because I used to build pole barns for a living.
Yeah, that would do it. I've gone behind that and been like, who was drunk on the job?
Yeah, no, it's just us trying to eye it, and they're usually off by a couple inches, because if you look at it from an angle, it looks like it's straight.
Oh yeah, it's all about the angle.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. have you ever tried this thing? And I like talk about it a lot on this podcast. Have you ever had Maw?
I have not. I don't know what it is, but
You know, like
I'm intrigued because you bring it up a lot.
you know what pre-workout is?
Yeah.
Like the energy powder stuff that you mix in water. It's basically that for gamers. It's like
Oh
like
fuck yeah.
it's like 250 milligrams of caffeine. It's like zero carbs, zero sugar. And you like it tastes really good. I use cherry lime. So
Oh, that sounds like heaven.
yeah, so it's freaking nice. And if you go to Differist channels now, you could get a link for a free month. Just pay shipping and handling, shipping and family, yeah, whatever. And you too could try the awesome Maw.
This summer, Ma coming to your doorstep.
I was like trying to think of a good like tagline. And I'm like, it's Maw delicious, so I turned it into malicious. I was like, wait, that doesn't come out right.
Oh yes, the drink's so good it's malicious. Wait a second, hold on.
It's maliciously tasty.
Well, you have me sold.
Oh, so that reminds me. As a DM,
Yes.
do you do voices, or do you kind of keep us like your same voice through, or do you try to?
So
change
I
them up?
really try to do voices. My main issue is when I was back in my younger spry days, I really wanted to do voice acting, so I learned how to
Same.
do all the weird voices.
Yeah, same.
That was my shtick.
Yo, you wanted to be a voice actor?
I did.
Yup.
And then I realized that I with how my voice sounds, I'm either the evil guy who betrays you halfway through everything, the guy who dies first, who's like your mentor, or the best friend who nobody actually likes.
Well, Cause like I do voice acting, like I've been trying to get into it, so I actually made a demo reel. Like you should make a demo reel. We should both just attempt to do like an abridged series or something. I've been trying to find
hell
people
yeah.
to jump in on that with. We just need a like good female voice. I'm not very good at those.
I could do Miss Piggy, kinda.
Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy,
No,
come here, touch my
I've-
frog fingers.
Yes. Kermit's not one of mine.
Yeah, no, honestly, and it wasn't until I started trying to do weird voices that I realized that Stitch from Lilo and Stitch is exactly the same voice as Smeagol from Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings, just breathy, just less breathy.
Yeah,
And I
can
was
you,
like,
can you
huh-
do Stitch and all that?
Oh, yeah, I can do Stitch all the time.
Oh, thank God, there's more than one of us.
Oh, no, right?
Hooray!
And then if you make it really breathy, you could sound like Smeagol's. It really loves the precious.
And then if you really get bored, you could do fucking Tristan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. Just in a few hours, the sun will rise.
Oh yeah, I love it. You know what? I'm like, oh my god, like there's so many different voices I've like attempted and never quite made, and they always morph into some other kind of voice. And lately, I was trying to practice Kronk.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I've been practicing that for quite a while, and I think I've gotten
That
it down.
sounds great.
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing I could do in his voice is a Peter.
Hey, Peter.
That's it. That's all I could do, and it's not even close.
It started out with me just going, "Whoa, nice cock." Just a bunch of times until I felt confident enough to spur to other stuff.
Listen, that'll do it.
Yeah.
A good old nice cock will get you fucked.
Is that how you make it on the internet?
Absolutely. Not.
Oh, nice chode. OnlyFans call it only chodes.
Dude, I really wanted. I pitched an idea to Squee about the worst OnlyFans account of all time.
Oh no.
So it wasn't. It was really bad in my mind because all it was it was just me like cooking like meat
Oh god.
and just like getting really close and just like sensually whispering into the mic, and then right when it gets towards the edge, just going "Bye," and just like ending it.
I thought you were gonna be like Naked Apron, and that would have
No.
been good.
No, it's just like meat sizzling, and then right before it gets like cut into, just end it with the most obnoxious voice possible.
Just like you got to do like ooh woo.
Fuck. Lean in, just ooh woo,
Oh yeah, you got to do it like super baritone. Ooh woo.
ooh woo. What have we devolved into?
I know, right? We're just doing random shit. Well, this is what happens every single time we do the old half-past broke stuff. Welcome to the chaos that is half-past broke. And some people like it. Some people are just like, it's a fad. It's a phase. Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. It was in the front.
No, I don't understand everyone being like, oh, it's just a fad, and then like it just keeps going, and they're like, was it really just a fad?
I've come to the conclusion that anytime someone's like, oh, look at this new trend or fad, that's when you jump on it and double down on that, because I thought Twitch was a fad, and I started playing around on it, and then I was like, this is not really going anywhere. I'm not feeling it. And then like a year later, like Shroud became like big. And I was like, oh, fuck. I totally missed my opportunity. And then whatever. I was like, I kind of forgot about it because I think I was in the military at the time. And then
see, that's kind of how I felt about like TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I had stuck with TikTok when I first got it.
So when it first came out, I was like, oh look, it's just shittier Vine. Like, why the hell would I want that? And then it just exploded. And I was like, man,
I hate that I could spend hours on TikTok.
I still don't have one. I don't have it download. People keep sending me them, trying to like, this matches your sense of humor. I'm like, go darker. It ain't working.
I watch blacksmith TikTok. I love watching people forge weapons, and wood chopping TikTok. Nothing is manlier and more captivating than watching someone chop wood.
I mean, you're not wrong. Actually, I really like I like that sort of stuff. I wish I could do it, but I have like soft baby hands, and I'd be like, splinter.
So I started working out like probably 3 months ago, and I'm starting to see like some muscle definition and everything, and I'm not as fat as I used to be. I'm under 200 for like the first time in my life.
I hate you.
What? Okay, I just went to the gym. But
how dare you be skinnier than me? I'm just trying to get below 3 for once.
Oh my god, yeah. The struggle was for real for a long time. It took me a while, and the big thing was, and you're not gonna like it, I quit drinking.
Yeah, I'm good.
For the most part. Like, I still drink about once a week, and tonight might be my drinking night. Like, I might, like, after this, I might just run up, go get some booze, and then maybe we can go play video games or something.
Oh, hell yeah.
But, yeah, cutting booze out and then just working out every other day. Every other day I go to the gym, and it's been fucking great. Like, I love it. But now I want to get an axe, and now I want to start chopping wood. Because I have all this like unspent energy and this unspent like rage, and I just need to chop wood.
God, so speaking of chopping wood, that was my dad's solution to little angry ribs back in like middle school.
Oh no, did he make you go chop wood?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome though.
So like I'd be out, and it was in like the front yard. There was just like a stump, and I'm sitting out there just like, I'll kill you, Billy, and just like chopping wood. Just like hooting and hollering. Neighbors are like looking by like, whose kid is that?
Oh, so one of the big things, like, my grandpa was clearing out a lot of trees around his property because he was building a pole barn there, and he was like, can you chop down these trees and everything? So I had an axe, or I had a chainsaw for the most part. And after I was done, I started chopping wood, and the more I chopped, the more blisters I got, the more I was like, this is amazing. Like, if I could get paid to do this per hour, like, just by hand, like, just by hand. I don't want a wood splitter because I crushed my hand on a wood splitter when I was like 16. Ooh, so I'm like afraid. Yeah, I'm afraid of those things, especially the ones that are rigged with like push mower engines. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, they're terrifying.
Yeah, they are. Those ones are the worst. I hate those ones. And those are the ones I used most of my life. So, like, anytime I see them on the side of the road, I'm like, someone broke their hand with that. Guaranteed.
It's my ape brain, every time I see one of those, immediately goes, what happens if I put my hand in it? The other part of me is just like, don't do it.
You'll lose your head, idiot. That's like, my brain is always screaming at me, like, what if? Let me say this. I realized that, because I'm almost 30. I'm like, I got like a couple more months before I'm 30. And I've realized that all the stuff that I used to do when I was like in my early 20s, like let's say up to like 25, I would do with like 25 and younger, I would do without a second thought. I would jump like Humvees, like the roofs of Humvees across the yard and stuff like that, just for fun. You know, like you would do like ground fighting and we'd be choking each other out. And like now I'm like, well, I might not get back up again. My knees might give.
So as a spry 25-year-old.
Oh, you're 25.
Yeah, I turned 26 in October.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still just a baby.
Yeah.
A fucking baby. I constantly have to like double check myself. Be like, is this a really like a good idea? Are you really about to do this? And then the dumbass angel on my shoulder goes, "Yeah, we're about to." And the devil pops up and goes, "Yeah, we're going to."
The voice of reason slowly grows in your head after 25. I'm telling you, it's so fun.
Oh yeah, no, the voice of reason right now is just a fucking like a 18-year-old frat boy, just like fucking do it.
It's so amazing to me, like from like 17, 18 years old, the shit that I survived and was like willing to do without a second thought.
Yeah.
And like I think me at 22 or 23 years old did the Buffalo Wild Wings challenge.
Oh god.
In 1minute and 49 seconds.
Fuck me.
Yeah. and then I did it again 2 years ago when I was down visiting Eric. And I did it in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. 4:20. But I'm like, wow, you like this is like how you benchmark how old you are getting, is how long it takes you to finish the Buffalo Wild Wings challenge.
There's like a 60-year-old just like, it burns my soul, but I did it in 20 minutes.
Eric did it in 3 days. He couldn't even finish it in one sitting.
Man,
I give him credit. He kept going back for it afterwards.
So, my buddy Push Pop specifically went to the store and bought me the like last dab hot sauce.
Oh, I love that. I want that so bad.
He got it. He's like, I got you something because you love heat, and we like just went and got like some Nashville like hot chicken.
Oh hell yeah!
So you know, I got habanero and was feeling myself. It was delicious. But I decided to ruin my night with the last dab, and I just like dunked a French fry in it, and just ate it.
Oh my god!
And like I'm sitting there, like, so what? It's he took a video of it, and on the video, like I already ate one. And it hadn't hit me yet. And I'm like, oh, I'll just like do it like a tiny dip on another fry. And I eat that one. Then you just see my face go like pale.
Oh my god. Have you ever done the one chip challenge?
I have.
I just bought the 2021 one.
Really?
Yeah, they're on stores.
There was a 2021 one.
Yo, if you get the chance, if you're at like gas stations is usually where I see it.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a cardboard podium with all the Pequi stuff, and that's where the one chip challenge is. I bought 2 of them.
Oh, I'll have to get one.
Yeah, because oh my god, I have 5 of them from last year. I'm just sitting at all these one chip challenges. I almost have a whole bag of chips worth.
Nice. I did the first time I did the one chip challenge was actually at a customer's house.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's sitting there and we're just like talking about how like I like spicy food.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I got this like one chip challenge, like it's supposed to be super hot, and I was like, I'll try it. I was like popped into my mouth. I was like, pretty good. Just like went along with my day.
Oh my god.
He like called the office. He's like, don't you ever send anyone else to my house except for that guy.
Were you like dying inside? That's just so.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Like,
absolutely.
You have to put on a good face, but man.
Oh yeah, no, I was at a customer. I couldn't be like, I need milk. Like, oh. No, I had to just be like, yeah, no. I immediately like drove to a gas station, got like a gallon of chocolate milk.
I remember the first time I did it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do White Russians with it because fuck it, I'm a man. I'll do it with the White Russian.
I'm a man.
And let me tell you, the White Russians only made it worse. I thought I was gonna puke when the first time I did it because I was chugging White Russians. So that was like probably like 40% vodka, 60% milk, just chugging it down.
Oh god, my stomach is like.
Oh yeah, no. That was almost as bad as the time I ate a whole tube of wasabi one time on stream.
I've done that,
and it came out my nose. It hurt so bad.
So there's a fun. Speaking of wasabi and horseradish stuff.
Yeah,
there's a fun Jewish tradition that we do. Because hey, by the way, I'm Jewish. Haha. Anyways, So
didn't Yom Kippur just happen?
What's up?
Didn't Yom Kippur just happen?
It did. It was today.
Oh yeah. Okay, I knew it was coming up.
Yeah, no, it was today. And when I went into work, they're like, "Why are you here? Like, it's a Jewish holiday." I was like, "Oh, well then bye." And they're like, "No, you're already here." I'm like, "Fuck." But but no. So normally around like Hanukkah, we'll make a bunch of latkes, and
Oh.
because we are stupid people, we'll see who could put the most raw horseradish on it and eat
Oh.
it.
Oh no. I can't do horseradish to this day. I still can't. Like
I love horseradish, but we do it to the point where like we'll immediately like take a bite and it's like latke horseradish. Like we'll take a bite, just you see the face like go red and like their nose immediately starts running. It's like, how you doing? Like, fine.
Oh, it's like the worst when you like it starts to stream out of your nose and like
Oh,
just
God.
it's oh man, that's the worst. I hate the like like I could deal with spice. That nasal feeling is like so hard to escape. Like there's nothing you could do about that nasal feeling that you get
No,
from like
there's
horseradish
nothing.
and wasabi.
But also it's such a unique burn and I love it so much.
I like it on like roast beef. Like that's about the only
Oh,
time
you
I ever
have
really
to.
yeah, you can't have a roast beef sandwich without having some horseradish.
Oh God, I also ruined a perfectly good meal and sent a picture to my dad because I was so proud of it. And immediately he sent back, "You're about to die." It was I made a pork tenderloin and just had this creamy like horseradish sauce
Mm-hmm.
and just put like a fat like inch layer across
Oh.
the whole thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we
Oh.
ended up like scraping most of it off, but
Yeah.
still,
I
I
bet
was
you,
like, this was a mistake.
that flavor probably stuck around though.
You know, after you scraped off most of it, which is the most disgusting way to ever do
Yeah,
it.
oh, don't say scraped. I scraped creamy stuff off the skin.
But yeah, after that it was great. It was real good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. You know, I've been kind of craving Arby's. Does Arby's have horseradish at their place?
They have horsey sauce.
That's right.
Fine.
That's what it is. Horsey sauce.
Listen, the trick that you do is you get the Arby sauce, you get the horsey sauce, you mix them together, you stir it up, you eat it, you hate your life.
I mean, if you're eating
It's also-
Arby's, you already hate your life.
Man, don't trash talk Arby's. I go there at least once a week because it's the only place that's close when I'm on call.
Yeah, that's fair. I actually, there's an Arby's like right next to where I work. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like, I always pass by it. There's an Arby's and a Starbucks. So there's very class difference between the streets. There's Arby people and then there's Starbucks people.
Oh God.
That Starbucks line is always out the parking lot. Like it spills into the road.
It does. Everywhere you go for Starbucks, and
Yeah.
every time, like I'll occasionally, whenever I go to like the airport or something, I'll get like Starbucks. And
Yeah.
I'll take like one sip and be like, this wasn't worth the wait at all.
I will say this though, their pumpkin spice latte to die for. To die for. It tastes like liquid pumpkin pie.
I despise pumpkin spice.
Oh, really?
I hate it so much.
Then you'd like Tim Hortons. They're like the only coffee place that doesn't have pumpkin spice.
It's so, and it's like,
You're on the
It's
same
like
side
with
as
the-
Eric then, because Eric, well, no, he likes pumpkin spice. He hates how early it comes out.
yeah, fair. It's like, so pumpkin spice for me is like the McRib.
Oh, what?
It's so they both come out and it's supposed to be this grand, like, oh my God, the McRib or pumpkin spice is back. And then people explode over it. And then I have to sit there and be like, shut the fuck up.
Well, to be fair though, the McRib is more of a meme thing where like the McRib comes out, everyone has to have it because like then you could be 80 and be like, I remember the time the McRib came out.
Oh God. I actually had a McRib for the first time last year.
Same. I had never had a McRib before that. And
I
then,
had a
like-
friend send one to me while I was streaming.
oh, the tree stream thing.
It was just, I was just streaming. I don't even remember. And they're like, have you ever had the McRib? I'm like, no. They're like, go check your door. And there was just like a McRib, like a meal sitting there. And I reviewed it on stream and got the reaction of, we hate you.
You should have literally been like, looks like it's McRibs time.
McRib's time. Why did I not think of that?
Oh man, you should make your own McRib. There you go.
God, you mean actually just make ribs and put it on a sandwich?
I will say this, I'm drawing a blank. Country style ribs. The boneless
Yeah.
ones with like the super huge fat ridge on it.
Oh God, when you what's the word I'm looking for? Now I'm drawing a blank. God, why would you do this to me? It's
I'm sorry,
contagious.
but like, so like the country style ribs, like, you smoke those for a couple hours. I usually dry rub them with like a sweeter dry rub because that's just pork tastes better with sweeter stuff,
Right.
to me at least. And then
I can agree with it.
slather it in a nice savory sauce, American cheese, and a couple slices of homemade pickles, and you have like world class McRib.
Oh, absolutely.
With it,
It's also not really hard to get better than the McRib because
yeah.
you could just get a burger and just dump Sweet Baby Ray's on it.
I swear the McRib is still sticking to my insides right now. I haven't pooped it out yet.
It's like the old myth about gum, but for McDonald's.
McRib is the gum of McDonald's.
That's
Oh
gonna be
my
on my
God.
tombstone.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put that on my headstone.
McRib. I took the McRib with me to the grave.
Can't say that while I'm taking a sip.
You know, I gotta say, I kind of miss mixed drinks.
You know, some mixed drinks are phenomenal. My favorite right now is still like a gin and tonic because
Really?
I'm bougie like that.
I like cream soda and whiskey with a little bit of homemade vanilla extract in it.
All right, real talk. A buddy of mine turned me on to something
Mmm.
that is, oh yeah, you take that out of context.
I'm clipping that.
But no, he had a oh God, I think it was a cream soda and Jaeger, and when you mix them together, it tasted just like a Dr. Pepper, and it blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, that reminds me of the flaming Dr. Pepper. I think you use
Yeah.
SoCo. You light a thing of SoCo and you drop it in something. I can't remember what it is, but you drop it in something and it tastes exactly like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, it's weird. There's some weird like flavor. That's the one thing. Mixology, I can never figure out mixology.
One of the coolest
know
things I
why.
discovered with mixology is how to make alcoholic mousse.
Yeah.
And it's like you take Bailey's and you dunk it and you pour it into whiskey or something like that. I think it's whiskey or it's vodka or something, but it curdles the cream and it turns it into a mousse. So you just have like this alcoholic mousse. It's called brains if you just straight up drink it, but you could put it on stuff.
I'm pretty sure it's with
I can't remember.
whiskey because that has a citrus in it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was, but we discovered it accidentally in college.
I accidentally discovered a cement mixer one time. That was fun.
Where you shake your head. Do you take a
No,
couple shots?
So it was so here's what happened. So for the good old cement mixer, all you need is Bailey's and lime juice.
Oh
and it immediately
yeah,
curdles.
yeah, okay, yeah.
So I was drinking a margarita, and someone handed me Bailey's, and I was like, "I'm an alcoholic." And then it turned into gross slime in my mouth, and I wanted to die.
Oh yeah, you don't want to like surprise cream in your mouth is never good.
No, surprise cream in your mouth is never good. When it's intended.
When someone at least warned me so I could brace myself, like open the throat a
Give
little
me the
bit.
good old like shoulder tap or something.
Yeah, like get the tap on the head. Hey, we're about to go now. Rockets are deploying.
3, 2, 1. Good luck.
Oh my God. So anyway, no, I have it's allergy season for me. I get spring and fall allergies, so like I'm like super stuffed up like this time of year. So I'm like trying to get through it. I'm so afraid to sneeze on HPB because last time I sneezed on here, Eric relentlessly attacked me and called me a public sneezer. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I still wear a bandana because I need to preserve the beard.
Right. Right now I got a cough because it's allergy season.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So right, I'll be like at a customer's house, be like, like trying really hard not to cough.
You ever do like the internal cough where you're just like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, the things about work, like there's always like subtle things at work at different jobs that you always have to watch out for, like when you're working with customers, like with you, like coughing and stuff like that. For me, there is never a bathroom for when I need it because I'm a driver,
Yeah.
so like I'm always out on the road. I remember yesterday I had to shit so bad for like 3 hours. And I'm like porta potty, porta potty, porta potty, porta potty. I finally found a porta potty in a very nice neighborhood. This was like
Oh wow.
350K plus homes, and there was just a porta potty. I destroyed that porta potty. I swear to God, I farted. It echoed through it. It like was like an echo chamber in the porta potty. I walked out, and this woman just looked at me. I'm like, yeah, I poop.
Yeah, listen. Didn't you read the kids' book? The kids' book. Everybody poops.
Kids book. Everybody poops.
I couldn't say book.
Why'd you sound so Swedish? The kids' book.
Say book. Sorry, that's my dyslexia coming into word form.
the book.
The book.
Anyway, so what? Try to go on to our next segment here, because
segments. Fuck yeah.
Eric's very better at transitioning than I am. I'm more like, let's just jump.
Right.
He usually does. Well, speaking of, and then he jumps to a new topic. That's not my MO. I don't really.
My MO is we're in this new topic. Deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. I guess like the one thing I've never really talked about, because I'm just talking about bang for your buck. Like, are there certain, like, do you have certain things that you do to like kind of cheapen your day, your week, your budget a little bit? Like, do you have like these like subtle things that kind of like cut corners on cost?
So there are a few really dumb, gross things. Well, not really gross.
Oh no, you're not a let it mellow kind of person, are you?
No. There have been days where I've made Russian mashed potatoes to try and like save a meal.
Oh, is that where you throw everything in like a mashed potato, powdered mashed potatoes, and mix it in?
No, that's where you cut up onions and garlic and then add flour and water.
Oh,
And you just like thicken that until it makes a mashed potato.
I've totally done. I actually have a big bag of cornstarch to do something similar to that. I make like basically gruel
it
or like
fills you
hardtack.
up.
Yeah, it works. And rice is a big thing for me.
Oh yeah. No, I have a huge like sack of rice in like a 5-gallon bucket.
You're the kind of guy that walks home with 2 sticks with rice on each.
Oh,
end.
absolutely. It's all walk home like that, and they're just like, he left his car. Like,
yeah, right. Hey, add that to a list of manly things to do. I'm not even manly, like badass things to do. Like,
right, the whole time I'm carrying that, I'm just a girl worth fighting for. Like, I don't know. Just sitting here Mulan the fuck out of it.
let's be honest here. The Mulan had the most banger sound, one of the most banger soundtracks of like any Disney movie.
Oh god, no, Mulan, Hercules.
Oh my god. I am on my way. I can go the distance. I love that song.
I will raise you with fucking bless my soul. Herc was on a roll.
The one complaint I do have about Hercules as opposed to any other movie pretty much is one of my favorite Disney villains doesn't have a villain song.
He doesn't.
Yeah, Hades doesn't have a villain song. What the fuck?
Don't worry, Scar
Oh my god.
Bars.
Jeremy Irons singing and then crescendoing into Jim Cummings doing the finale part was like just on point. So cool. You know
good.
Voice actors, right? You know what I'm talking
yeah.
about. Okay. Because I've brought this up to other people. Like, it's Jeremy Irons. Okay, so backstory for those that don't know. Lion King Scar is played by someone named Jeremy Irons, who's an amazing voice actor, but he couldn't like his voice got a little tired. He's older, so like his voice got a little tired halfway through the Be Prepared song. So they had Jim Cummings, who is the voice of Winnie the Pooh, the voice of I'm drawing up, like he voices like everyone. He's like Daddy Disney. He voices like everything in Disney.
I'm trying to remember who else he voices.
He does.
Winnie the Pooh is like the main one.
Pete the Cat. He does.
Yeah.
A couple other ones. I don't off the top of my head. I'm not really. He does Tigger.
The wonderful thing about Tigger.
But he does a couple other ones. But like Jim Cummings took over for Jeremy Irons, and it's so seamless. It's like unless you can pick up the subtle nuances of each other's voices, it's so seamless. Like the transition between the two.
Right, and also congrats, you've now officially ruined that song for at least one person.
Yeah, right. Everyone's like, that's 2 different people singing. What did Diff just say?
They're gonna be that person at a party. Well, did you know?
It's like the Lord of the Rings thing. Hey, did you
Oh
know?
my god. Oh no, it's we've been trying to watch Lord of the Rings with a couple of my buddies for fucking ever now, but we're all too afraid to because we know we're gonna be super stupid and like pause the movie and be like, "Did you know that like he actually got a knife thrown at him?"
Did you know that he actually broke his leg? He broke his
Yeah,
ankle. He kicked the hell.
Like we're just gonna do that the whole time.
It's like that's the thing with every fandom though. They're so excited to share and like impart this knowledge, and which is why like I feel like I geek out on voice acting, and not many people appreciate it. So I just feel like I'm annoying the shit out of people with it.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah, right.
Especially since you know, I wanted to be one and then realized, nope.
Actually, did you know? I found out recently, actually, that there are some people whose like ears are more attuned to picking up tones, like very, very minute tones in people's voices. So some people are more prone to pick up voice actors easier than others.
I didn't know. I knew about like someone having like perfect pitch, but I didn't know that about
No, it's like
the voice
it's not
acting
like a
stuff like
perfect
that.
pitch or anything. It's just like for me, like I'm like, how do I like me and Liz would always talk about like, oh, I know that voice. Oh, I know that voice. And we'd almost every single time guess it perfectly. And apparently that's a thing. Like people just I have like this like innate capability to like hear these tones and
Right.
call out who it is. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I've been obsessed with voice acting since I was like 6 years old and discovered that Ursula was like the coolest villain ever.
Right. Nothing has nothing to do
Nothing
with
to
it,
do
like,
with
at
that.
all.
I like everything about villain voices is so great though. Like,
Well, you have to have a strong villain voice. And that's like it's so important and nobody thinks about it.
but because you gotta go from graceful to gruff, and you gotta be able to do it very seamlessly. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
it's like the good person could always, they have their whole thing, but like for a villain, they have to be so complicated to be an engaging villain.
Yeah. Well, then they gotta be animated. They gotta be like over the top because you gotta either dislike the villain or the villain's the center of the attention. Screw the main character. The villain is always the center of attention because everyone throughout the story is wondering what is the villain doing? How is he gonna screw
Right.
this one up? Like the villain is the big thing. That's why there's a BBEG in D&D.
Oh yeah.
Like people focus on them.
I will say, I think my favorite voice acting gig of all time is Hey Hey the Chicken from Moana, being voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Really?
Yeah,
I
he
didn't know
voices the
that.
chicken. It's the dumbest. I'm like, I love him so much for that. I would love to see the pitch for that. Hey man, you want to come voice a chicken? He's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't care what role it is. If someone came up to me like, "You want to voice something?" I'd be like, "Let's fucking go." I've only been
Oh, yeah.
preparing for this for 23 years of my life. But
Right?
actually, if you want to hear a good joke,
I would love to hear a good joke.
what does a chicken sound like when it has Tourette's?
What does it sound like?
Fuck off. But yeah, so like but yeah, like any voice acting gig would be so legit. That's why I'm like I actually changed my entire LinkedIn to do like this whole like fake it till you make it thing, so it like looks like
Right.
I'm just a professional voice actor. I have like my demo reel from my YouTube channel linked to it and everything, and it's like all set up, so I'm like really pushing it. I might just like put myself on Fiverr. You should try it out again, man. Like what's the worst that could happen?
God. What's the worst that could happen? I'm gonna finally land like some kind of acting gig. I'm gonna walk in and be like, "Hello, you're fired." It's just, oh,
Yeah, you just go back to the same mundane job. I'm working as a freaking driver. Nothing could get worse than what I'm doing right now. So, honestly, I'm just gonna go for it at this point. You know,
I mean,
I'm
fair enough.
I'm always gonna be a broke driver with constant debt. So nothing is gonna put me lower than that. And giving this voice acting thing a try is always gonna be like is only gonna be good. Because even if I get rejected, like whatever, I still have my life. Like my life's already the
Right.
same. Like it's not gonna change my life to get rejected.
I think my main draw with like attempting to go into voice acting is I have really bad dyslexia.
Oh really?
So yeah, so I don't know if you've watched me try and read chat anytime, but I'll like sit there and stare at something for like 5 seconds, being like, okay,
You seem to do
that
pretty good
real?
with it though.
It's bad. Every now and again, I'll be like, haha, yeah, thanks for the compliment. And they'll be like, we called you an idiot. What the fuck? I'm like, oh, I was reading like one above you and one below and like mashed them together and
Yeah.
cool, love you, and like just move on.
You know what that means? Just have to be really good at improvising lines.
You know, that is one thing that I am decent at because everything I read, I have to make up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so so basically just like make a demo reel, you improvising lines, just like hit your ranges. Like I hit like low. And I also tried to do like I love my radio voice. I wish I could figure out a way to tune it to make it sound like it's actually coming through a radio. But if you sound like this when you're doing an announcement, like, and I want to get like that radio tone in behind it.
Right.
But I don't know
Ladies
how
and
to...
gentlemen, just in. I sound like the fucking narrator for Powerpuff Girls.
Say the city of Townsville.
The city of Townsville.
Oh, you know what you sound like? You sound like, yeah, see?
Yes.
We're gonna deal a couple cards here. Buy-in is $20. That's what you sound like.
My first voice acting role. You're gonna be the dealer at a table and nobody's gonna pay attention to you. Meh.
See, I always base my voices around like 1920s like feel and like electro swing steampunk feel because that's the aesthetic I love. So like I always kind of base my voices off of that. But I'll take any voice acting job.
Puppy, I love you. Now's not the time.
And you know, like I've always found one thing really interesting. Of all the friends I've ever made, not one person has any inkling on how to animate. And I don't want to be friends with an animator specifically just because they're an animator, but it's just so crazy. Like this huge circle of friends. We have musicians, we have people that want to be voice actors, we have people that are like streamers, we have all these like different talents. And we have like artists, but no one knows how to animate. And it just goes to show like animators are so rare and so like they're awesome. Like animators are awesome, and I'd love to meet one and collab with someone who animates stuff because I'm not good at animating, but I'm good at story writing because I do D&D stuff.
I can't draw, so I can't draw a stick figure. It's like a circle and like maybe some lines. Like it's rough.
I'm good at that there dang old Photoshop thing.
That dang old diddly Photoshop.
I could Photoshop the fuck out of something.
I could Photoshop the pic.
So I had my freaking I had my party. Oh, we keep skirting D&D. Let's just like skirt right into D&D right now.
Gotcha. Fuck it. We're D&D. Go.
So I had my party laughing their asses off because they were all sitting around. And I was trying to get them to focus because like when the party all gets together, you know, they like chit chat or whatever they do.
Yes. Oh my god.
So I was like, hey guys, you want to hear my best Adam Sandler impression? And they all went silent. They're like, yeah. And I'm like, that's some high quality H2O. And they all
Waterboy.
They all busted out laughing, and then we went right into it. So like I always try to keep like a voice in the chamber for whatever I need them to focus, because I'll just like say something and then they'll all immediately divert their attention to me.
Oh goodness. Yeah, that is I think the hardest part about being a DM is just getting your players to listen.
I know, right? And I don't mind it. I love watching them like kind of like string this like story together and everything. Actually funny, I had a player trying to negotiate with a adult white dragon, which
nice.
For anyone that knows what dragons about the dragons in D&D, chromatic dragons like the white, green, black, red, blah 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 are all evil. They're all assholes. They're the worst kind of things, except for blue dragons for some reason. But
because that was an awesome video game.
Yeah, fair enough. But so they were trying to negotiate with this white dragon to get its scales, because their mission is to get a scale from every dragon, every kind of dragon. Oh yeah, I almost TPK'd them.
Yeah, TPK. I did that recently.
So like they were trying to negotiate with it after it was sleeping. So not only did they wake it up from their slumber, and the bard thought it was a good idea to lull it awake with a bagpipes.
Why?
And then they were fighting it, and they were doing pretty good, and I waited till half health before I use the breath weapon because they're all level 8. So they're like, but
Oh.
there's 4 of them.
Right.
So like I'm like, okay, cool. But they all got feared. One got blinded, and they all got huddled together. So the breath weapon hit all of them.
Nice.
And I freaking
that's
annihilated the party. Though I will say the barbarian did a really good job. Liz, the barbarian in the party, did a really good job at like kind of saving the rogue, because the rogue was about to get knocked the fuck out. Liz has a shield of cold resistance, which white dragons do cold damage. So
Convenient.
So she's like, "Can I throw the shield over the rogue?" And I'm like, "Yeah, give me a dexterity check or an athletics check with disadvantage because this breath is coming down. This is bullet time."
Right. This is happening
Yeah.
now.
She succeeded, and it was so dramatic.
Oh, shit.
And like, so the rogue took half damage, which is great because the rogue only had like less than 40 health, and the breath did 48 health.
Oh, wow.
And the barbarian
That's awesome.
was raged, so the barbarian took half health. The bards almost got fucked, but they still managed to tank the damage.
Nice.
So yeah, that was hilarious. And it was so fun to watch that all like come into play. It like was very much akin to the Toy Story 3 scene where they're all going into the incinerator.
Oh, yeah.
And they're holding
They're all
hands.
just holding hands.
It
Like,
was-
please, God.
That was exactly how I pictured the scene. They're all holding hands, just watching this breath come down in slow motion on the party.
I've had so many just like dumb moments in D&D that I like will treasure forever. And like now that I've done like DM stuff, there are moments where I'm just like, oh, that was really cool. But then there's so many more moments where I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, you know what? And I've finally gotten to the point in my DMing where I can kind of let it roll off if the party decides to do something that I didn't plan on. I'd be like, all right,
Right.
guys, you're in improvised territory. So if I kill you all, this is because I didn't plan for this. Like,
Those are like the best sessions.
yeah.
Is when you just like free ball it.
And they actually managed to like persuade a green dragon to give them a scale. So they managed to avoid the
nice.
green dragon fight altogether, which was cool. But then they wanted to keep going further, so the session ended up lasting like another 3 hours, which is fine. I love when the sessions go long.
Oh yeah.
But I told them, I'm like, you go guys, everything after the green dragon right now is improvised because I had nothing planned for that. Like this was supposed to be the end of the session, so good luck.
Man, so my one thing that I like to pride myself on is my side characters are people really like my side characters for no reason.
Yeah.
It's in the most recent campaign, I had an ongoing joke that there was like that just I had planned it out, but for some reason they fell in love each and every time with these characters that were related to each other.
I hate that so much when they
Oh no, it was the first one they ran into. He was a potion shop guy who was just like over his job, like just done. His name was Bob. And
oh my god.
Yeah, I named him Bob.
Are you kidding? No, are you kidding me? Because my shopkeeper's name is Bob. It's so hilarious.
Yeah. But so they ran into Bob. Unfortunately, Bob got frozen in a town. You know,
typical stuff. Yeah.
So they went to like another one, and I had planned that like this innkeeper was Bob's brother. And they ran. His name was like Bertrude or some shit.
Bertrude.
Like it was just their whole family is named Bees. Like they're all Bees something. And so like they went into it. They're like, yeah, no, we just came from this town, and like the town's frozen over. And he is like, oh, that's weird. My brother works in that town as a potion shop. And the whole party went, no.
I love it. I love throwing Easter eggs. Actually, like it's so funny, and like I'll try not to do too spoilery because I know some of my party listens to the podcast.
Listen, just spoil it right now and go.
Yeah. So this is okay. So there you go, party. If you guys actually listen to the podcast, you'll know the end. You'll know kind of the gist of what's happening. If you don't listen to the podcast, shame on you. Number one.
So, no, don't spoil it. Well, I might want to know.
Okay, so I've had the BBEG planned from the get-go.
Right.
And the party has met him multiple times. And they still aren't aware that that's him. And they ignore him. They never talk to him. They never, ever talk to him. And it's so crazy to me. Because, like, I've left Easter eggs all the way through. And there's also, like, 3 plot holes that I intentionally put in the story that they've all missed to kind of point to the bad guy that they think it is not that bad guy.
Right. It's like y'all might understand this.
So and if they like really like listen to like all the plots and all parts of the plot, like you could pick up on it, but I made it just subtle enough that like you'd really have to like, and fortunately it's not recorded so they can't like analyze.
Right.
So
where did we miss him?
But like I've like
the whole like clacking on the keyboard.
I've also like thrown like all these Easter eggs. Like there's a character named Zero in the story. And he's like the Cheshire Cat, like he's just everywhere and nowhere at all the time, at any given time, and he's a pink tiefling. And
oh hell yeah,
he throws Easter eggs at the party all the time that some of them get, some of them don't, and I love it. It's so funny.
My most of my players they'll fixate really. I don't know if yours do it, but mine will fixate really hard on like the smallest detail that I'll say. Just in like passing.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes I'll just say something like completely off the cuff, and they'll just be like, "That's everything."
So like the before everyone died.
I still can't believe you TPK'd your party.
It's not my fault. All right. They ran into the big bad. You know, the BBEG big bad. Yeah. They ran into him, and first of all, every time they've met him, he has been impassive. Like genuinely trying not to kill people.
Yeah.
Like he's just like he has like his ideals and is trying to enforce them without violence. And they finally like get like a good like one-on-one time and they irk the fuck out of him.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. So
like I'm sitting there and I'm just like, guys, no. And they're like, oh yeah, we're fighting now. I'm like, oh, you poor soul, and just murdered them.
Actually, I had and this might be a good idea for this is an idea I have that I use in all my whenever I'm DMing. I have a threshold. So I pick a check that I know is the party's gonna do at some point during the session. And I say if they get under 5 on that check, then worst case scenario happens for the rest of the thing. So at one point, the party was trying to like examine a room that had goblins in it, and I had an aboleth or like an aberration hiding up in the bell tower.
Oh, aboleth is like one of my favorite monsters.
I know, and I love it. I throw an aboleth in every single time, but like I basically reskinned like an eldritch entity into like an aboleth, but it was basically an aboleth. But I had it like hiding up in the bell tower because this church was a church of a god that sealed away the far realm. So it was trying to like desecrate the church and everything, but it was waiting till the goblins were all asleep so it could kind of like zoom in and basically take it all down. And I was gonna have the party just take out goblins, it was an easy enough mission.
Right.
Well, one of them was an Aarakocra, flew up to the bell tower to peek in, failed the perception check, and there was an eye, like a squid eye, like the really weird shaped eye, like staring at it. And that's how it started. And they end up having to fight an aboleth as opposed to 12 goblins.
Oh, good God.
So like they won, they beat it, but man, it was fucking crazy. And that was the episode I finally was able to kill off a side character that I had no intention on keeping in the plot. But they loved the side character. It was this little goblin that I used as like their assistant. Like the goblins in this world like are either feral or they're tamed to be like assistants for party members and stuff like that. And I had them use this goblin to kind of help them through the first couple missions. And then I like kind of like forgot about the goblin, but they kept asking. So I'm like, I need to kill this thing off so they stop asking. So I finally killed off that goblin that episode. They named it Pinky, and they also have a squirrel named Brain, so they have Pinky in the Brain.
I got a great goblin NPC that one of my other campaigns was obsessed with.
Why are they obsessed with goblins?
So this one, granted, I put a lot of work into him just because I thought it was funny. His name was Colonel Mac.
I like it.
He was just a little like goblin dude who got like exiled from his tribe, and his goal in life was to destroy his old tribe. And like, so they like left him in like a town that they conquered. They're like, here, this is your town. We're gonna come back every now and again, like just kind of do your thing. And every time they'd show back up, he'd just be like more like suspicious about stuff. And finally they showed up and like the goblins were like invading. He's like, we got this. He's like, no, I got this. And he steps on a pressure plate and this huge contraption of a ballista pops up and just like decimates the goblin tribe. He's just like, yeah!
He's just been planning this. Oh my god, I love it.
He planned it the whole campaign. And they went back to that town like every like 3 or 4 sessions to like check up on him, be like, you still alive, bud? He's like, oh yeah, I'm good.
Oh, you know what I was pissed about is on D&D Beyond they actually had a hobgoblin playable race.
Really?
Like for free. And I played it. I used it. And then they archived it, so it's no longer available. So I have literally one character that's still a hobgoblin. I can't get rid of it. I just have to keep reusing the same character and just like restatting it out and everything. Because they got rid of it. And I'm like, oh, that's a hobgoblin. That's cool. Actually, my current favorite character. Like, do you make PCs? Like, do you make characters just in your free time?
So I do make a good amount of characters, but I also have to be very, very careful when I make a character where I'm like, oh, I'm going to bring this one into a campaign. Because I make accidentally broken as fuck characters.
Yeah, well, like, it's like part of knowing the mechanics. Like, as a DM, I feel like you're a lot more, like, ready to make hard to beat characters, like, structurally sound characters.
Well, so for me, every time I make a character is based off of just a weird quirk I thought of. Like that is the whole, like we were talking earlier about Gary the cleric based off of, you know, a single line from Sword Art Online Abridged.
Yeah. I still love that.
I made one that was Sherlock Barkley Bones, the world's greatest detective, who has never actually solved any mystery.
Oh, I love it. I love making quirk. I actually have you ever watched Fairly Odd Parents?
Yes.
Chip Skylark. I made College of Glamour High Elf.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Please tell me you used either Shiny Teeth or Icky Vicky once.
I haven't got to use them yet, but I built the level 3 characters just so I could give him the College of Glamour. And his spells are Dancing Lights, Mage Hand, and Minor Illusion.
Oh, he's just
heroism, sleep, enhance ability, pyrotechnics, zone of truth. Like, he's just performance based. Like, he does no damage.
I got a fun bard for you. This was in a campaign when I was just meeting my newest my group of friends. I joined one of their campaigns and I made a pacifist bard. complete pacifist, kind of. He had no damage spells. It was all just like other stuff. His name was Lloyd, and Lloyd despised his party. Like actively tried to get them killed.
Oh my god!
But his whole shtick was like, an enemy would show up and he'd make friends with the enemy, be like, yeah, no, go kill them, and then they would die, and he'd be like, I'm with y'all 100%.
Just constantly betraying the party. They just tolerate him.
He would constantly betray the party, and because he wouldn't actually fight, I don't know what like D&D god decided to bless my D20 when I played Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime he had a rapier, anytime that rapier came out, it got a nat 20. Anytime. It came out like 5 times the whole campaign.
Oh my god. So I have so, like, you know how, like, cantrips, casting a spell, are an action?
Yeah.
I have made the perfect Eldritch Knight.
Oh, really?
I have discovered the way. And honestly, he's not super good until way later in levels. I built him up to level 20 because I needed 3 actions specifically. Or level 12. Because I needed 3 actions specifically for this character to be, like, OP. So basically, he has 3 actions. He first casts Booming Blade, which when it hits the target, like, you know, surrounds them in these, like, this, like, distortion in space. And if they move, they take 1d8 damage. And on hit, it takes 2d8 damage. So if the character willingly, or if the enemy willingly moves more than 5 feet on its turn, it takes 1d8 damage. So Booming Blade. And then I added Thunder Wave, which
Oh, so it
knocks
knocks
back
them
the
out a
character.
bit?
Yeah, it knocks the character back. So on their turn, the only way they can attack is they have to get closer. So they're moving 10 feet to get back into melee range.
Please tell me Action 3 is Thorn Whip to pull them back in.
No. You got to keep them away, so they have to move towards you because they have to move 5 feet in order for that booming blade to work. And then I added cause fear,
Oh,
so they have to run away.
that's so dumb.
I know, right? It's so broken of a character, but it's so good because you can potentially do like 48 damage in in one turn. And then he's got a great sword, 2d6 plus 3, so that's fucking perfect.
So for me personally, it's I actually have to nerf myself when I play in campaigns.
Yeah, I'd always go cleric.
I do not play spellcasters.
Oh, really?
I'm mean. It's like it's one of the things I can't help myself. We'll start a campaign. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna be like whatever, like a wizard. Why not? I always ask the question, hey, where does this spell come out of?
Oh, I made a farting warlock.
Oh, nice.
His patron was in his butt. And he had to bend over every time he wanted to cast a spell. So if he did the tentacle one, like tentacles would just like shoot out his ass. Oh, I made it the most vile character I could think of. But but it wasn't like in his butt. It was he consumed something that ended up being an entity.
Oh, so it's just like
it was inside him, so it comes out different,
hilarious.
like different spells come out different orifices.
But so like for me as a player, I can't help but like take skills or take like spells that aren't really meant for combat and using them for combat.
Yes. Oh my god, like if you could like spin minor illusion to be part of combat and stuff like that. I love that.
So my quote unquote notorious move, which I've done twice and gotten yelled at both times, was I had grappled someone, and on my next turn, if they didn't break the grapple, I'd slap my hand over their mouth and cast Create Water.
Oh my god. Yo, that's legit.
And it's like there's nothing you could do about it. Cuz it's what is it? A gallon of fresh water per level. And it's instant. So you slap it over their mouth and it's just like if you're level fucking like 4, it's 4 gallons of water just shoot through their body.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I love that. That would be like, that's like insta die right there.
Yeah, and they're like, how do we fight this? I'm like, I don't know, don't let me grapple someone? Like, fuck.
Oh, I had an idea for a character. And actually, you know what? I wanted to make like a nerfed character. So I went with the Warlock because Warlocks are
nice.
And
I mean, they have moments.
I picked the Celestial Warlock.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay.
So it's a healer class Warlock.
Yeah.
And I love him. I love him. He knows Sacred Flame. And and it's a bonus cantrip for the Warlock. So I can use Sacred Flame as a bonus action. It's basically like flame like radiance descends on him. And I had an idea for this and I wanted to do it cuz one of my DMs that I've had in the past has actually like forgotten how Sacred Flame works, and he thought it just appears where it needs to go. I'm like, hey, is his mouth open? In his mouth. So like, yeah, I do stuff like that. Blade Ward is like hands down my favorite cantrip.
Oh god, favorite cantrip. I think I got to go with either Thaumaturgy or Prestidigitation. I love Prestidigitation. It's like the spell for the lazy. Yeah, which I love because I'll abuse it.
Oh,
but like I've had dummy like brain dead characters that have just turned into just these like unstoppable monsters for literally no reason. Like so I played an offshoot of D&D to actually start with. It was my buddy found a Fate campaign, which is an anime and all that other fun stuff.
Oh yeah, Fate Stay or whatever.
Yeah, there was a Fate Stay Night like book for D&D.
Oh, really? That's so cool.
Yeah, I was like, fuck yeah. I have the PNG somewhere. I'll have to find it. But
Yes, please.
I made a character that was just he was an archer, and he was, this was when I was in like middle school, so he was edgy as fuck. But
Sometimes
no, it got what's up?
Oh, I was gonna say the edgiest people always make the coolest like characters in D&D.
So there was an interaction that my DM wanted to have happen where essentially I got like a scroll, and I had like an inner fight with like my opposite self. And if I won, I got like cool powers, but if I lost the ability to use magic, period.
Oh shit.
Yeah. What he didn't realize is that I would agree with everything it said. So he's just like, yeah, no, you should let me like take over. I'm like, that would be cool, but I kind of still want to like walk around and stuff. How about you just like get the eyes? So like I had like a voice in my head that'd be like, we should kill him. And I'm like, or we could like wait for a second. Like it made no sense. And he's like, how the fuck did you spin this? I'm like, I don't know, man.
Have you ever heard of the D&D podcast Bombarded?
I haven't.
It's so cool. It's a band based out of Texas that has an entire campaign based around all of them being bards.
Really?
Yeah, and it's so cool. And they have one because they're all different classes too. They're multi-classed. So they start out as level 1 bards and level 1 something else. One of them was a level 1 warlock and sorcerer. But the thing is, their sorcerer had like a little imp or devil or something like that living in his head, and or living in his belly button actually. And
what the fuck?
every once in a while this thing will like whisper to him and tell him to do something, and he has to like make a wisdom saving throw. And if he fails, he has to do what the entity tells him. And sometimes it's attack the players, or sometimes it's to like foil their plans or something like that, or jump out from behind a crate. And I thought that was a really cool idea, having to battle with like an inner voice that could force you to do things.
Right. So one thing that I'm really fucking mad about, I'm not really mad about it, I'm just mad that someone posted it before I could, was there was a TikTok D&D thing, and it was a character that I had been working on and wanted to try. Where it is it's not an Aarakocra, it's the crow ones that don't actually talk.
Oh, shoot, I know this name. It's it starts with the K.
Yeah, it starts with a K, and I want to call it a kookery, but I think that's wrong.
I don't think it's a kookery. It's
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up.
So they don't actually talk. They just mimic voices.
Yeah.
And they play a warlock, and so their patron is talking to them, and they're speaking what their patron wants them to say, because that's how they talk.
Oh,
and I was like, I was making that, and then a TikTok came out about it. I was like, fuck!
It's a Kenku.
Kenku!
Yeah.
Yeah, the edgy birds who don't actually talk.
Someone came up with a really good idea for a Kenku rogue. Who, like, because Kenkus are generally sold as, like, slaves or pets or whatever.
Yeah.
So basically, this, like, master rogue bought a bunch of Kenkus and trained them all to be like him. So they were all just
That's
copies of this
amazing.
master rogue, just a little bit weaker. So this one Kenku, the master rogue dies. So this Kenku is basically, like, training an army of Kenkus to, like, basically mimic exactly him, because that's the only thing it knows how to do.
Right.
So, like, it's this, like, little Kenku rogue. And every time it dies, like, a new one replaces it. So, like, it's just, like, this army of Kenkus that are all, like, the same exact thing. It's, like, this Master Rogue. It still acts like the Master Rogue, but it's not as strong. I love it.
That's amazing.
I was like, that's the coolest thing. It was, you ever heard of the Dungeon Cast?
Yeah, I actually have heard of that.
It was one of the characters they made.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it.
I can't remember what episode. It was a rogue episode. It was specifically for the rogues, but I can't remember which one it is. I think it was like the assassin episode.
Oh yeah. So really quick, just kind of side tangent, not really full tangent, whatever. Do you run like modulars for the most part, like the big old like thick books and all that fun stuff?
I have all the player-related ones, like Xanathar's Guide to Everything, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, stuff like that. But
you don't have like the actual like modulars that are a nightmare.
No, I don't use like the acquisitions. I do want Eberron expansions though, because Eberron has really cool shit in it. But I run everything off of D&D Beyond. I don't run it off of the hard books anymore because they're expensive and it's hard to coordinate with players through the books alone. So what I
Right.
did is I bought all the player related books on D&D Beyond, and anytime I start a campaign in D&D Beyond, the players have access to those books as long as they're part of the
nice.
campaign. So they have free range to all the books I have. So I kind of go for the player related ones. As far as like the adventures go, I don't really touch them very much.
Well, I'll let you know right now. Icewind Dale is a bitch.
Icewind Dale, where is that one? That's an adventure, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Was
Rime
that-
of the Frost Maiden.
Yeah. So I actually got to be a player in that,
Ooh.
which was a nightmare because I decided it'd be funny to be a monk centaur.
The textbook definition of class and stealth
Oh, yeah.
and acrobatics is something with 4 legs that weighs 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, see, like all my characters are just like these
I know, I love it.
horrible jokes.
Actually, I've always wanted to run a turtle.
I got a great turtle. I named him Michel Yertle. And he was my turtle.
I haven't.
He was a cleric, and that campaign stopped after I joined.
Oh no.
Because we went into a room and there were a bunch of like harpies and like sirens and stuff. He's like, "How are we gonna get through this?" And I went, "Cool, deafen," and just like walk through. He's like, "What the fuck?"
I have one of my favorite characters I ever made that in a campaign that only lasted like 4 or 5 sessions, which is like the same song and dance for a lot of D&D sessions. They don't last very long. But
It's so hard to have a campaign last for a good minute.
Yeah.
God, I treasure those.
And like I knew the players I was playing with weren't gonna pick anything that could do any healing whatsoever. So what I did is I made a cleric and I made a dwarven cleric because meta. But so I made a dwarven cleric named Friar Fucks, Phux. And he was a 300-year-old alcoholic that made it through a bunch of different wars. He used to be a paladin, but he became too old and too weak. So he was still like a part of a man of the cloth, but he shifted to a cleric. So he has like a -8 in strength, but he still carries around a warhammer. So like, and he was a
It's sentimental value.
yeah,
at that point.
exactly. It did like 1d4 -1 or damage or something like that. So it could potentially do 0
that.
damage. Like it could just like bonk and do nothing.
I actually really like that. I like it when characters have really, really dumb flaws.
I had a character that had -1, 1 -1, so 0. I think D&D Beyond recalculated it for me. He did 0 damage for his punch. So no matter what he did, he could punch someone at a nat 20 and it would still do 0 damage.
That's amazing.
And I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. I think you need to have like a -8 in strength in order to achieve that.
Yeah, I think like having like literal 0 strength is the way to go.
Yeah.
If you want to do something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I always make strength my dice set. Evie, enough. Stop. Come here.
Stop it, Evie. Stop.
No barking. But
Dude, I had a character that was a rogue tabaxi because
meta.
But one of his quirks, because tabaxis get like a trinket. I had a glass doorknob. I'm sorry, a crystal doorknob. and we were going through like these dungeons and we came to this like huge glass door and my character was like, "It's finally time to fulfill my destiny." I go up to the door, my DM goes, "There's not a spot for it." I was like, "Fuck."
Why would you? What? Why?
Oh yeah, no, like after the session he's like, "Hey man, I got bad news. That doorknob does nothing." I'm like, "Why would you tell me that? Like, let me live my lie."
And, sometimes it's like, if I see, like, because I look at all my characters' character sheets, and if they have, like, some weird thing in there that's, like, not super fleshed out, I'll take advantage of that. Like, I always
absolutely.
incorporate the characters' backstories and inventory into my campaigns.
Oh, 100%. I've also been at the opposite end of that, where, like, for me, it's like, if I get a character backstory, I want to, like, use that to try and, like, drive the story.
Yeah, exactly.
I was on the opposite end of that, where someone took my backstory and on session 2 expanded it.
Oh, that's I love when the DMs do that. And hang on one second.
So it wasn't. Oh, you good? Looks like it's just your boy Ribs, just sitting here having a grand old time just by myself, just chilling. And oh god, he's back. What do I? Hey, what's up, bud?
Oh no.
But no. So what happened was, I was playing a Aarakocra cleric named Tuki.
I like it.
George of the
Yeah,
Jungle.
George of the Jungle.
But for his
it would be more of a
backstory-
Kenku, wouldn't it?
No, it was so specifically for that, just because I wanted to try. I like playing weird races. But so for the story of Tuki, he was a cleric, but he was a severe alcoholic. Because in his backstory, he was trying to save like a kid or whatever, and he failed, and that kid passed away.
Oh my god.
So it was like a horrible backstory. And on session 2, like this is like a month after that happened, we go back to that town. I'm like, I can't be here, dude.
Oh no.
Like, why are we here now? My character hasn't had time to cope with this.
I say, I appreciate DMs that like do the railroading thing, but I love when DMs are able to do like to mold the story around the player's choices and everything like that. Like, and that's why I always like, I don't know about you, I never plan too far ahead because I know the players are going to change whatever I write, and I don't want to waste that time writing this whole thing just to have it reset.
Yeah, so for me, it's like I'll have like events that I want to have happen in my world, and whether they get there or not, that event happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, everything's happening in real time. It's not waiting on them. Except for the campaign I'm running, because the campaign I'm running is called the Kronos Crusaders, and they're basically agents of Kronos, and they basically live in a tavern that exists outside of time, so they basically go to different events in history, from like space age to Stone Age. Like I throw them in all over the place.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite campaigns, and I wrote it in like a week. I was just like inspired. I was like, this is an idea I have, and I had like the whole thing planned out within like a week. I was so excited.
I wish that I could really do that. I'll have like a kind of a big world like planned with like events that happen all over.
Yeah.
But for the most part, some of like the quote unquote best campaigns I've ever ran was just like I sit down, I open up my notebook for DMing, and I write one sentence, and I'm like, this is the campaign.
Yep.
And like move on.
Sometimes that's all you need, and then you just take note. Like most of the time, what I'll do is like if I'm running like a really loose campaign or something like that, something that is not going to be super story driven, more character driven, I'll just write as I go, and then I'll just like, okay, I have a general idea of what the party is going to be doing today, but like basically at the point, like for my campaigns for the most part, especially this one, it's like you guys, they can do whatever they want. Eventually, it's all going to come to a head. So like it's like a bunch of branching paths that all lead to the same place. So that's kind of how I run it. So like the characters have autonomy. Like they aren't like forced to do what the DM wants them to do. So that's kind of how I do it.
Oh goodness.
Well,
I love D&D so much.
I know.
I'm still trying to get a D&D tattoo.
I know, right? I'm like trying to think of like what I would get. Honestly, I'd probably get something.
So do you want my idea?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so for my idea, so normally like what a lot of people do is they'll get like just the standard dice like cascading down their arm.
Yeah, those are cool.
What I want is I want each class's hit dice with like a representation of that class essentially getting thrown out of a D20, the DM's hand.
Okay. I think that's really cool.
I thought that'd be a badass tattoo.
You ever seen the praying hands with the rosary?
Yes.
I always wanted to get that, but it was stringed with a bunch of dice.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yes, RNGesus will be here.
Exactly. That's like that was the whole idea behind it, was an RNGesus thing. But
right. And then you can also like pass it off, be like, "Oh, you're religious." Absolutely.
All right. Not me, who signed up for the Satanic Temple.
Oh, you know what? It could be worse.
Yeah. But whatchamacallit? Anyway, I think we're actually getting to our time, so we probably should wrap it up here. And
probably.
Yeah, because it's like we're getting to about an hour and 20, and once we get too high on time, it becomes impossible to send the file. So
right.
So
we've been talking for how long now?
Hour and 20.
Jesus.
That's about
What
standard.
happened?
About standard. About average.
It feels like we just started talking.
I know, right? I love this podcast. I love just like, all right, we got a couple loose things we're gonna do, and then we just kind of go with whatever topic. And I love that today was D&D because now I finally had someone to talk to that was super into D&D. So awesome.
Oh yeah.
So
I love D&D.
So with that, go ahead and plug what you got going on. What you got going on?
What do I have going on? I stream over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ribstime. We have a horrible schedule right now because work is literally killing me, but occasionally we'll play games and lose our minds.
Yeah.
I'm really bad. I have never actually like thought of a plug to do. It's always just like, me play games. Yes.
Do you do anything on YouTube?
So I used to do YouTube stuff forever ago, but then I wasn't happy with the quality of the stuff that I was putting out, so I just stopped completely.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. I finally got to the point where I'm like, okay, I've kind of gotten to the groove of YouTube and editing and everything. So now I'm like, I'm done streaming, just gonna be YouTube.
Right.
So yeah, that's my big announcement, guys. I just kind of plugged that one in. I'm not streaming anymore, at least for the time being. I'm done streaming, going just YouTube. Like I'm posting on YouTube the free game for the week on Epic Games. I'm recording a half an hour of gameplay with some commentary in it, and I'm posting that on YouTube once a week. Every Thursday, you guys will see at least one of the games that gets posted up. And I'm also doing a bunch of other random stuff. Like I'm trying to get Ribs to do Overcooked. I'm thinking about reigniting the Overcooked series it's on YouTube.
Oh god, Overcooked with me would be a nightmare.
Yeah, so
it was already a nightmare.
But yeah, so like yeah, exactly. Like there's a couple things going on, but everything is gonna be on YouTube. I'm still gonna have my Twitch account active, but I don't know if I'm gonna stream on it for the time being. I don't have anything planned, but I figured I can use that 4 hours to get a lot more done that has a lot more permanent content than if I were to just stream. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I burped in a non-manly way.
Oh, that's weak. Weak sauce. Anyway, so yeah, if y'all want to check out Ribstime, go check them out, twitch.tv/Ribstime. Link will be in the description. And he's our content creator of the week. This is our shout out this week. Because we don't do it nearly as often. I think last week we shouted out someone for the ukulele lessons, but
oh yeah, it was a ukulele person.
Yeah,
I listened to that this morning.
So yeah, there you go, guys. Thank you so much for sticking in, and this is Diff here, reminding you that whatever dreams and aspirations you have to do in life, just do them. There's nothing worse than just asking you what if.
Right.
So,
also, be saucy.
Be saucy. I like it.
Be saucy.
All right, y'all. Have a good rest of your week. We will see you guys next Monday. Bye-bye.
I love you.